Through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we are again another day helping you win in any marketplace. Your consumer advocate program here in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate-based radio and TV show. We got a great lineup for you today. We're going to have Mike from Vine IT on the program. Our tech experts in the house are going to talk about all things technology. We also have Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, longtime friend of the program. Fred Muth, a.k.a. the Tin Man. And we are having James Grant, Servpro, as well as Britney Cartwright as well. She's the office manager from Servpro here in studio. Going to talk to you about their offerings as well. Before we jump into that, I want to let you know about a couple of our hot listings here in Tampa Bay. We got a property listed at 4823 Ebbtide Lane. This is a penthouse opportunity from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. 4823 Ebbtide Lane. This is unit number 405, 1,098 square feet, one bedroom, one bath, two bath property. You have your own private penthouse here. You've got multiple decks. What I love about this is the huge deck. You got a 20-foot, 25, 28-foot deck by another 28. So you got roughly, how many square feet do we have? I mean, you've got 3 different decks, multiple views, 270 plus degree view of the Gulf of Mexico. Waterfront, beautiful property on the Cody River with a community pool. And there's a shot of that deck. Look at that beautiful deck if you're watching our TV show version. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
And let's give a shout out to our official hotel partner, the Bilmar Beach Resort over on Treasure Island. If you're thinking about a local staycation, check them out. 2 pools on site, Sloppy Joe's Beach Bar and Restaurant. This time of year is really cool because they've got the standing ovations going on. If you haven't seen that or taken the kids to see that, it's a great opportunity to go over to Treasure Island, talk to Clyde Smith. He's the general manager at the Bilmar Beach Resort. Standing ovations is where they build these beautiful sand sculptures, sand castles, and all types of really cool creations. And the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is the beautiful Bilmar Beach Resort over on Treasure Island. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, let's introduce ladies first here. We got Britney Cartwright in the house, office manager of Servpro. Welcome in.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. What are we going to talk about today?
I would like to just kind of go over the expectations of what happens when your house floods, if you find mold, or what you can expect to find from us to help you, or what we can do to help through the entire process, basically.
Yeah, pretty much any of those disaster recovery, right? Fire, flood,
yes.
All those issues.
Anything you can think of, we basically handle. So it happens. It happens way too often, and people don't really know what to do, and they don't have someone in their corner. So just want to let people know what to do.
And James, we talk about too, like when you're dealing with the insurance companies now, this is something that people, they're not doing that on an everyday basis, and these insurance companies are, and a lot of times they're trying to minimize their claim.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we got James Grant in the house, Servpro. What the website is what? ServProWestTampa.com?
That's correct, Brandon.
ServProWestTampa.com.
Yes.
And James, tell us a little bit about your capacity, what you're doing out there with the community and with Servpro.
Well, with Servpro, I'm the marketing manager here at Tarpon, West Tampa. And basically what I'm talking about today is our football game that we sponsor in Dallas.
Cool.
On December the 28th at 3:15, and it's going to be on ESPN, if I can say that.
Nice.
So it backs all the first responders, whether they're firefighters, nurses, everybody that's on the front lines, which is a great game. This year, the team's going to be the Air Force Academy and University of Louisville.
That's awesome. Should be a good lineup. I know Air Force, I think they run that option style run attack, and then Louisville is also kind of a prototypical type team, more prototypical.
So 2 good teams this year.
Some good athletes, really good athletes on that team. First Responder Bowl in Dallas. That's pretty cool. So that's a big thing for Servpro organization to, spend the money and sponsor a big event like that.
They actually been sponsoring it since 2012.
2012.
So the first 2 teams, I think, was University of Houston and Penn State.
Okay.
So the lineup, it's between, Power 5 companies and Group of 5 company. I'm a Group of 5 teams.
Yeah.
Which is, very competitive teams.
Yeah.
So it should bring out a lot of people. Also, it benefits a good cause. Also, all the Servpros out of the country had to submit a representative for a first responder. So somebody that went above and beyond the call of duty, whether there was a fireman, whether it was a police officer. And they're going to announce that person a national winner at the game.
Awesome. That's very cool. So first responders, talk about, the impact that they make in the community. I mean, when you look at first responders, I got a good friend of mine that's a paramedic, and he said a lot of times, he shows up on scene and there's a gun sitting there. He has to kick the gun out of the way, and then, he's going to take care of the person, and then you never know, there might be an armed assailant behind the door. I mean, I think too many times people take for granted these first responders in many cases.
Absolutely. These guys are at the forefront. A lot of times they put their lives before our lives.
Right.
I mean, my brother, he's a Hillsborough County deputy himself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I listen to the stories, what he does out there at night.
Yeah,
Especially
exactly.
when the criminal element come out at night.
Right.
And I don't think we recognize this enough. We don't reward these people enough.
That's right.
And I think this game right here will, expand on what everybody should be doing and bring to the forefront some of the things that some of these people be doing. Because when you listen to these stories, and they are going to tell the stories, what they did to get there.
Nice.
I read a few of them, and I can't remember all of them, but, it's some heartbreaking stories, and these people put their lives on the line every day.
Absolutely, going above and beyond on a daily basis. We've had the fortune of interviewing Hillsborough County Sheriff Chad Chronister on the show.
Yeah.
Seems like he runs a really good organization, and especially being in Florida, since we've got Governor Ron DeSantis here, he's more pro law enforcement, first responder community, and really defending a lot of our individual rights and freedoms that we have. So unlike California, which would be almost the polar opposite, they got those smash and grabs going on and running in, stealing stuff. And then the DA puts them back out. The district attorney puts them, basically no bail, back out on the street the next day to commit the same crimes.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get Britney's perspective here. Britney Cartwright. So you're the office manager, and you kind of keep things rolling for everybody.
Yes, I sometimes handle it as soon as someone calls in to holding their hand at the very end when we finally part ways and we put them back whole. That's our motto, like it never even happened. So that's really my job, is to make sure everybody knows exactly what to expect. I have a background in insurance adjusting myself, so I can see both sides of it, which I think helps our customers because I can be upfront and honest and let them know what they're facing with the insurance companies. And a lot of our reviews even talk about that, how we hold their hand through the entire process and they know exactly what to expect, because most people don't, have to deal with a flood every single day. You don't come home to your floors under 2 inches of water or mold in the walls and no idea where it came from. So it really is our job to help people understand really what it takes.
Yeah.
To put them back together.
Yeah, and there's some precautionary things you can do too. I know sometimes it's a either like a refrigerator line or a washer line. Over years you have to change those things. You got to update those to the newer technologies. If it's been 10, 15 years, some of this stuff is preventable.
Exactly, and a lot of people don't realize your appliances, they have to be checked. Hot water heaters we're noticing are a big thing, and I don't know why we're still allowed to put hot water heaters on a second story, but honestly, it happens way too much. I even have a 2-story home and my washer and dryer upstairs, and being in this business, I double check things probably way too much because it could happen. It happens to people, and keeping on top of your pipes and making sure they're not rusted or your toilet seals are good. You'd be so surprised how many toilet tanks crack. I didn't even know that was possible. So your windows, the seals, because we live in Florida and moisture will get in and all of a sudden your wall is covered in mold, and I think we have a home right now where almost the entire side of the house has to come off because they didn't know it was behind the stucco and there was an exterior leak. So just paying attention and being mindful of your house and what's going on will help, because a lot of the insurance companies, if they feel that you knew it was happening and you just didn't do anything, that it was long-term damage, and they'll deny you, even though, how are you supposed to know that something was going on in your wall? So
And then you got to hire an attorney and
Yeah.
spend money to throw. They say the term is throwing good money after potentially bad money because there's no guarantee
Exactly.
that it goes your way. We're talking with Britney Cartwright. She's the office manager of Servpro here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. Also, James Grant in the house. He's the marketing manager, Servpro of WestTampa.com, Servpro of WestTampa.com. And listen, I want to dive a little bit deeper into what you said about your background as an insurance adjuster as well, and what are some of the consumer advocate tips? Since we're on the Consumer Quarterback Show here, what are some consumer advocate tips that you would gather from those years of working in that capacity, and then also how if it gets into a situation where the insurance company's going to say, hey, we can't cover this, and here's why.
You really have to make sure that you document everything. As soon as something happens, start taking photos. As soon as you see anything, call in the claim, ask them, what you should do. A lot of times they'll tell you to go call a remediation company like Servpro, and you really want to jump on that, because if you wait too long, they'll say that you didn't try to mitigate the damage, because in everyone's policy it says it is your duty to mitigate the damages so it doesn't get worse. So if you don't do that and you wait a month, that first thing they're going to do is try to deny you. My previous job, I worked a lot in, they call it complex claims. So we had to deal a lot of claims in Miami, which are tough because there's a lot of public adjusters and attorneys who they kind of exaggerate claims, and there's a lot of denials down there. But they will make us write ROR letters to try to deny people or say you didn't follow your policy, and they will nitpick everything. So take photos, call the right people, make sure if you don't know where it's coming from, call leak detection, call a plumber, and really try to trust your contractor, who hopefully is there to to help you. That's where we come in, and I love to talk to the adjusters, and I'll send them photos and their drying reports and over communicate with them so they know that this customer is not trying to hide behind the incident, that they're really trying to fix it. And nobody wants to go through these things. The common goal is to get their house back together. So just trying to be on top of it and documenting everything really is so important.
And if you have a situation, you talk about minimizing the effect and trying to catch it early. So if there's a storm, are they expecting you to get on the roof yourself and put a tarp over a hole? Or are they giving you weeks to do that? Or are they giving you days to do that? Like what?
It's a little different with storm, and a lot of insurance companies, they handle it differently. As soon as the governor calls something the natural disaster or a state of emergency, the whole insurance industry changes. And a lot of people don't realize that there's certain rules, and it's a lot different. People's deductibles are different, and it just really we don't really have to tarp as much, because the insurance companies will have them say you need to go get a tarp or board up your windows, try to at least secure your property. But we do have roofing companies that we work with that will call people out and say, hey, we're getting calls for tarping or board ups, and these people are going to need some help. So at least trying to stay ahead of that, if you know that maybe you might need to secure some things, is a good idea.
Yeah, we work with Suncoast Roofing a lot on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and they do a great job. They can get out there pretty quickly, and I think they'll do a roof inspection for free just to check it out for you. But Britney Cartwright here, office manager, Servpro. James Grant, Servpro on the Consumer Quarterback Show. James, what else are you seeing out there, man?
Well, as far as let me expand a little bit too in the game too, some of the things that we deal with from the nonprofit standpoint.
Okay.
We actually donate money to the First Responders Children Foundation. I don't know if you ever heard of them before. They're a foundation. They're out of New York City. And basically what they do is they give money to first responders, children or families that have fallen or have been injured, that can't work anymore. So which is a good foundation for us to be in. They do some great things. I'm finding more and more about what they do.
That's awesome.
And it's growing. They're going to be on the television too, talking about what they do at the game. So if you look at that, get involved with that. They have a web page out there for donations. You can get involved in that.
Very cool. All right. Well, we're almost out of time here. Final thought to you, Britney?
I'm just happy to be here, and I hope I gave some sort of information or help to anyone out there who might think that they need to file a claim. So give us a call, and we're there to help.
That's awesome. Final thought to you, James?
Hey, like Britney said, I'm just piggyback off that. Anything going on, just give us a call. Servpro. Look out on our website, Servpro, Tarpon, West Tampa, and we'll be out there to take care of it.
Awesome. Sounds good. Well done. Well done. That was very insightful, Brittany.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we're going to talk with Fred about some of his programs that he has and different products that he offers. You talk about your in-between space between the home and the outdoors. Got those beautiful lanais, porches, patios, and the screen rooms as well as pool cages. So more with Fred Muth coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram and Twitter. Consumer Quarterback Show page as well. You can follow our iTunes podcast, Spotify as well. We'll be right back after the short break.
The Consumer Quarterback Show will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
Hey, Margie here with the Consumer Quarterback Show and the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. If you're buying, selling, or investing, please give us a shot. We would love to help you. We are a top 1% ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay, and you can reach us at 813-750-0550. Call or text 813-750-0550. ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent in Tampa Bay, featured in Florida Realtor Magazine, Top Agent Magazine, The Business Journal. We're looking for inventory. Attention sellers, we need more inventory to sell. If you're a seller on the fence thinking about selling your property, we want to hear from you. Free comparable market analysis. Check out consumerqb.com.
Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, helping you win in any marketplace. Big shout out to Veteran Gutters, Brandon Porter and his team. They do such a great job adding gutters onto any of your real estate properties, commercial or residential. He served our great country. He's got American-made products. Work with Veteran Gutters, Brandon Porter and his team. They do such a great job here in beautiful Tampa Bay. And I want to let you know about a couple of our hot listings here. We got two properties that are on Nebraska Avenue, 4214 North Nebraska Avenue. This is a dry cleaner that we have. So it's selling the real estate, the equipment. So you got all the dry cleaning equipment and the goodwill and going concern of the business. Also, 4302 North Nebraska Avenue. This is a professional office space corner lot, and you have your own private billboard. So if you relocated your office, you have your own private billboard that you could add as well. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. That's platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
And before we bring Fred onto the program, I want to just touch on something pretty cool that was in the news recently. Of course, you know, with the Chinese virus, Dana White, UFC president, talked about it, how he got his remedies from Dr. Joe Rogan. He said, kind of tongue-in-cheek. Interesting clip here.
Today is day 5, testing positive for COVID. And this morning at 9 o'clock, I tested negative. Thank you, Dr. Joe Rogan.
Aaron Rodgers says the same thing, who very well might win the Super Bowl this year. The Packers are looking really good. Isn't it interesting how the media is doing everything they can to try and suppress the Joe Rogan treatment? Ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, azithromycin. Play cut 21.
I'm 48 hours in, and I consulted with a now good friend of mine, Joe Rogan, after he got COVID, and I've been doing a lot of the stuff that he recommended in his podcasts and, on the phone to me. And I'm going to have the best immunity possible now.
Aaron Rodgers, Dana White, Joe Rogan. What if millions of Americans were actually properly exposed to this? And yet we continue to push the vaccine.
Yeah, it's crazy because we were lied to as on a major scale. We were lied to. So we're seeing all this in retrospect now to be able to utilize even aspirin, ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and then you got the antibodies now. But isn't it interesting, though, how there's such this cover-up about these cheap medicines that can work, and then we got this big push. By the way, Pfizer had multiple billions of dollars in revenue this last quarter, of course. Pfizer, J&J, all of the big pharmaceuticals. So it's the ruling class screwing over the working class once again, ladies and gentlemen. So anyways, let's bring in Fred Mew, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, onto the program. Fred, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. It's too bad you cut that conversation short. We could all talk about that all day long.
Yeah, exactly. What's your take on that?
Well, I went to the eye doctor the other day, and he says to me, Pfizer's making $1,000 a second right now. I go, I figured something like that. And I don't know where he got the numbers from, but that's a crazy number. If you calculate it, that's probably where it's at.
Yeah.
There's so much, I don't want to get too political here, but
yeah,
you can't just go by what they tell you to do and what they suggest, because it's a little over the edge at this point. And now talking about a fourth booster. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
How much medication are you going to put into these people?
Yeah.
Scary stuff. Scary. But anyway.
Exactly.
Let's go back to the screen business, the aluminum business.
Yes, sir.
That's nowhere near as pathetic as what we were just talking about.
Yeah, you've got these awesome opportunities. Homeowners out there want to add this extra space. I think a lot of people are looking towards this option right now, Fred.
Yes, they are. And people are still moving to Florida from all different parts of the country. I handle a lot of leads that are coming from the Northeast, and the customers sold their home up there. They're 3-2, and they got $700,000 for it. They come down here, they buy a 4-3, and they're paying half the amount of money. And beautiful home, and then of course the next thing they want is the screen lanai. So they put the bids out for the screen lanais, and I'm still taking 60 some odd leads a week right now, which is an awful lot. It's a little overwhelming, but we handle it. And getting out to measure and getting them priced is still a challenge to get it all done in time. But we're selling a lot of work, selling a lot of enclosures. The time frame's a little rough, 4 to 6 months in some cases to get anything contracted, permitted, and built. Especially when there's foundation work involved. But that's a realistic number, and most people are okay with that. If it goes beyond that, obviously it's not anywhere near what they wanted when they purchased a home. A lot of times the home builder can supply the lanais as well, but then they still put them on a backlog because the home builder would subcontract that out to somebody like Tampa Screens, and we can only get so much done at one particular time. Materials have still been a little rough getting materials on time. And it's a shot in the dark knowing when the materials will arrive. What's amazing is the suppliers are not getting great information from where the product comes from. And they'll give us a projected delivery date on the material. And that date comes and goes and the material does not arrive. And then they give us another projected date, usually 2 to 3 weeks later, and it's repetitious. Sometimes it's 2 to 3 months after the original projected date to get the materials.
Yeah,
and
that's
going to
be frustrating.
Nationwide. It's frustrating. It's a nationwide situation. It's going to get better.
Quick break here. More with Fred Mew, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Talk about the labor supply, of course, the supply chain issues he's seeing as well. And also coming up, Mike Thackeray, CEO, Vine IT, on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rogers.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
So, Fred, stand by while we do just a few things in there to get ready for the next segment, okay?
All right.
Yep.
Johnny,
there we
can
go.
you hear me?
Test.
Okay, stand by.
Yeah, yes. Yep.
Brandon?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I need a test from the guest.
Yep. Test. Testing.
Okay.
Is that other mic off, or I think it's off? I hear a high level of is that the ambient noise?
Yeah.
Yeah, he pulled it.
Yeah, it's pulled. No, not that.
Something's a little bit high. Mike, what do you want to talk about? Last week we talked about FBI getting hacked.
Yeah.
A little crypto.
I mean, we got a little Amazon, you know. I'm not Nate. I won't go highly technical. Common.
Yep.
But if I don't know, I'll loop around. I know how to. I got
It's
it.
topical though.
Yeah. Topical. Just kind of the dependency on business and personal on Amazon. I got a couple of tips if you want.
Cool.
I got a couple of real practical tips on business for business owners and
Nice.
SMBs.
I love
Might
that.
also be good to talk about how to
Say again?
protect. Might also be good to talk about how to protect yourself doing holiday shopping online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because one of the things that I've found
Yep.
is, especially like on Instagram,
Yep.
I'll get ads for
Yep.
stuff that I like, and then when I go to the site, like something just seems off to me.
Yeah.
Because I kind of know what to look for.
Yeah.
And some of these companies don't even exist.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know?
Validation.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you go and you think you bought something,
Yeah.
and you never get it.
Yep.
And by the time you try to get your claim or make a claim, they're like, forget
Yes,
it.
sir.
I just need you to test in there.
Yep,
Just give me
test.
a countdown
Yep.
from 5 to 0.
Yep. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4,
Needs
3,
to go
2.
down. Yeah, he's pegging over here.
Tell me if you need me to move.
Nope, you're good.
Okay. Thanks for having me, gents.
My pleasure.
Yeah, dude.
One more time from 5 to 0.
Yes, sir. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4.
Sounds distant.
Still. It needs to go up. One more time.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It is frying here. This is all frying.
Yeah, I'll yeah. Nate's the IT expert, you know that. So he's the guru. I'm more our clients than anyone, so I always I try to open up and remind people that. So I'll remind them from the beginning. Just I'm them. Let your guard down.
Yeah, you're more the
Sounds good in here.
sales.
I'm the brains. He's the prettiness.
One more time.
Yes, sir. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're happy? Okay. Okay. Are you still hearing the...
Nope.
Okay.
Like
A lot better, yeah.
All right.
Are we next second? He's coming back.
Yeah, he's going to come back for just a, let's see.
Fred, you still there?
I am.
Alrighty.
Tonight, Suzanne Burke is the regular customer. Two became friends.
Well, if everyone's ready, we can proceed.
Alrighty. Thanks.
listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We love to help you win. If you're buying, selling, or investing in real estate, we'd love to talk to you. I want to give a shout out to Ramin Kazami. He owns a company here in Tampa Bay, Heights Soft Pressure Wash, right here in Tampa Bay. Does a great job for any kind of pressure washing, soft cleaning of your homes, your decks, your porches, your fences. Reach out to Ramin Kazami. Does a great job for us, and let him know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take him up on those special offers and incentives. Heights Soft Wash, taking clean to new heights. And we are back here in studio. We got Fred Mew, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, on the line here. Longtime friend of the program. Fred, 7 years now, 8 years or so. I lose track, but we've been partnered up for a long time on this program as an expert contributor.
Oh, it's been great. I've enjoyed doing the show more than you can imagine. What is unfortunate is I'm not coming into the studio at this point. I'm working out of my house, and I used to enjoy coming into the studio. There was something about the tension in the break room before you went on, and I don't know. You can't put a price tag on that tension, and then you go in and you're in the studio with. Sharing the mic with others, and it just turns into just a beautiful session. We've had some very good sessions that way.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yep, we miss you being in here, but we completely understand.
I'll come back.
Yeah, awesome, man. So talk a bit. You were kind of alluding to earlier, like the supply chain. So, and I always ask this question different. Even the restaurant partner that we have is Hours Creole Smokehouse right there in Tarpon Springs. He was talking about his supply chain, and luckily they're getting a lot of their fish from right there in the Gulf and things like that. But can you expound on that, like the labor and supply chain?
Well, labor has been at a premium for quite some time because the demand for the product is high. But the supply chain problems are all related to what's going on with shipping in our country right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of the material, for example, the insulated composite roof panels that we sell, that's the sandwich. It's got a foam core sandwich. It has aluminum skin top and bottom. Great product. They're manufactured right here in Florida, the majority of them.
Oh, that's awesome.
However, the skin, the aluminum skin, comes in coils, and that's what's not available. That's the skin that they put on the top and bottom. And that's, what we hear is that's sitting in a cargo ship somewhere out in the Pacific.
Wow.
Trying to get unloaded. And that just really hurts the industry. It hurts everybody involved.
Yeah.
If you figure you bought your new home down here and, everything went well, the closing went well. Now, all we need is our lanai. And, I tell them 6 to 8 months because that panel's back ordered so long.
Wow.
And the look on the customer's face, But most of them realize that there's an issue with receiving materials, building materials. I personally waited from last February up until about a month ago to get a double door set up for one of my personal properties. And, it was back ordered, and this just continues. And I just hope that this problem soon goes away. And we talk about labor now. There's screen enclosure installers are a breed different than, say, framers. It's a whole different animal, and I've watched these guys do the work. I've been doing this since 1992. I've done some of the work myself around the house, but I try not to. I don't have enough Band-Aids to accompany myself for all the cuts and bruises.
Yeah.
But I watch these guys, and the tolerances on the aluminum are so much tighter than that of a framer. And everything has to be accurate and precise. And then if you watch them roll the fabric, now that's an art. You have to roll that fabric in the right way and keep it tense. And when they're done, they don't like to have any ripples or wrinkles in the fabric. I've rolled screen fabric myself, and I can never get it right. It's a real challenge to do it. So these type of talented installation crews are few and far between in reality in the state of Florida. If they had...
Yeah.
I used to make this statement, if they had 15,000 great crews 20 years ago in the state of Florida, they probably have 15,000 great crews today and no more. And the workload is, 20 times more. So you just can't get high quality people in a timely manner on the jobs. I mean, we have crews that are very diligent. They, I watch them work. I see the hours they put in, and they make very good money. But there's 168 hours in the week, and that's it. You can't change that.
Yeah, that's true. I was at a Christmas party boat parade this weekend. I was talking to a gentleman that's running for the school board up in Pasco County, and he was mentioning how a lot of his beliefs and platform would be to implement more of the trade school type scenarios in there, training folks to be, like you said, installers, getting a certification in plumbing, electrical, contracting, those types of things. And really, he also mentioned up there was an aquarium that they could utilize for folks that want to learn more about marine aquarium and that type of a thing. But I think there needs to be a big push for that, and away from the 4-year college education for some kids, of course. And I say that with a disclaimer of, yes, we need engineers and doctors, lawyers. That goes without saying. But I think too many people are forced into that from their parents, who are trying to do the quid pro quo type thing, keep up with their neighbors, and they end up going into a degree plan that makes no sense for them, and they're studying North African poetry or something crazy that has no value in today's world.
And what's unfortunate is them people are missing the joy of what it's like to work with your hands and accomplish something.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that never got the chance to do that based on what you just said. The parents pushed them into schooling in the wrong direction.
Yep.
I think in my many years of business, the majority of people that I know that have made the most money are the ones that have and can work with their hands.
Exactly.
And they're happy. They enjoy it. I know some electricians out there that they've made excellent money.
Yeah.
And they're older guys, and they love getting up in the morning and challenging the next electrical job. They enjoy it.
That's true.
And I watch them do it. So there's a lot of pleasure in working with your hands and accomplishing something. And we talked about those that are professional students that never get the chance to actually fabricate something, make something, build something, and be proud of what they did and get paid for it.
Yeah. That's right. Absolutely. All right, Fred, how can folks find you or hear more information?
Well, I always like to revert back to the old school of 813-960-7064. You could go to the website, tampascreensandaluminum.com, but the majority of our business comes through by phone. And we're still taking in a lot of leads, still doing a lot of work. And even though we're shortchanged on labor and materials, we're still pumping them out.
Still getting it done. All right, buddy. Keep up the good work out there.
All right. Nice working with you guys. Take care.
Appreciate it. Likewise. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got our feel-good story of the day. Customer surprises homeless Dunkin' employee with a furnished home. Really cool story coming up in our feel-good story of the day. And we also have CEO of Vine IT, Mike Thackeray, here. We're going to talk about Amazon outage, FBI getting hacked, maybe jumping into some crypto, things like that as well. Practical tips for business owners and homeowners as well of how you can protect your technology. We'll be right back. Short break.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is Diane Vance with Fairway Independent Mortgage, a member of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Please give me a call for any of your mortgage needs. We do all sorts of loans. If you would like information on a mortgage, you can text me or call me at 727-647-8199. I will take care of all your mortgage needs. Go to my website at dianevance.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man, Brandon Rhymes, a.k.a. the Real Estate Quarterback. Brandon, what's happening with the market?
Thanks, Ian. We are in a low inventory market, so any of our listeners are homeowners and would like a free comparable market analysis or a 2.5% listing, we will honor this for the first 3 listeners who call or text in
813-917-1894.
Free CMA and a 2.5% real estate listing. Check out consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, we're back here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Feel good story of the day. One of our favorite segments and parts of the program is where we tell you something good here.
Tell me something good.
All right, so this is our customer surprising homeless Dunkin' employees with a furnished home. We got a great story here. Ohio family experiencing homelessness received the surprise of a lifetime from a loyal customer. Ebony Johnson works at Dunkin's drive-thru in Cincinnati, where Suzanne Burke is a regular customer, and the two became friends over the past 3 years. Recently, Burke noticed her favorite employee was not at work for a few weeks. She learned that Ebony and her family were evicted from their home, and she says, quote, "When she heard the experience of this hardship, I was just wanted to see if I could help her," said Burke. Burke teamed up with local nonprofit organizations, partnered with a staging designer to surprise Ebony with a fully furnished home she can call her home, or her own, rather, just in time for Christmas. And she says, quote, "The Lord really helped me. She really looked out for me because I kept praying and saying, 'Can I be at home before Christmas?'" Ebony told the news station. So there's our feel-good story of the day, and we love those stories as well. Let's welcome in CEO of Vine IT, Mike Thackeray. Welcome back in.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, man.
My
glad
pleasure.
to be here, brother.
Likewise.
Glad to be here.
Awesome. So let's jump into, I like, go through these different stories with you, but the one that's very topical right now is this Amazon outage.
Yeah, it's really interesting. We were unfortunately, I was going on to Amazon yesterday, and evidently my wife might not get a present this year because of it.
Oh, boy. There you go.
So legitimate, 100%. I think the biggest, talking to people, talking today at lunch, talking with client this morning, a prospect even before that, is it just proves the focus in the dependency on technology, right? Right. We click a button and something shows up at our doorstep.
Right.
And we're talking consumers for sure, but even on the business side, a lot of our clients, we buy a lot of materials from Amazon as well, on the Amazon business side of things. But just the dependence, and so many business owners that we talk to are like, I'm not a technology guy. I'm not, I don't know. And it's like, yes, you are.
You have to be.
Yes,
almost.
you are.
Yeah.
I guarantee people were affected by that.
Yeah.
But absolutely, man. I wanted to comment real quick on something Fred said. He was talking about the supply chain and talking about, but also, for us, when it comes to the supply chain, we've got, we serve businesses, so we support and secure businesses, right? We're serving the small business community, and they don't have time to wait 4 to 6 months. With respect to what Fred does, his clients can. Where we have our clients are like, no, we absolutely have to have a new laptop because mine just crashed immediately.
Right.
I have to have that tomorrow, today, this week. And for us, what we've been doing is when inventory comes in, we buy loads of it. So we'll buy 5 to 10 laptops, set them aside, have them ready.
And that's what I've heard a lot of some other business owners doing is they're buying. There's buying this inventory. Matter of fact, we're building a pool on our home, and that's what the owner told me. He said, "Hey, we bought X amount of rebar and all the different equipment, materials that they need." So they did that and they planned forward. So that's great. So you're buying up inventory, hanging on to it. By the way, Vine IT, give us a little overview of what exactly you offer for folks out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're IT supports for small business. So support and security for small business. Essentially, instead of being the IT department down the hallway like these big corporations have, a lot of small businesses can't afford even to have someone in-house. So they hire us. They get our entire staff, and we're just down the street.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited to serve SMBs and small to medium businesses because the reality is that is the heartbeat of America. Like they're employing, and they are the heartbeat of America, and that's who's calling our help desk every single day.
Yeah, as much as the big corporations and the elites want to beat up the small, middle businesses, how bad was that last year on small businesses, right? With this Chinese virus, and of course the Zoom class made tons of money. The upper wealthy class made tons of money. Of course, we know the pharmaceutical companies made lots of money, but that middle income earner, that small business owner, that mom and pop, that grass lawn maintenance company, which I grew up in. I think you had a background in that. That's the heart of this country, and they got attacked last year with this virus.
Yeah, and they did. It also, what it should do, I always say in retrospect, let's see what we can learn. What we should learn from that is is from a business continuity standpoint, is we need to be partnering with companies like Vine IT. If you're not using if you're not using us, use someone. You need a partner as a business owner, a small business owner. You need someone that can secure your data and your information of yourself and your clients, but also we have to be securing. We have to have a continuity plan. So we had a lot of clients that were like, they're like, oh, we're 100% remote now. What are we going to do? Well, they were able to turn to us. We set them up remote. And we were able to secure them and build their infrastructure to do so.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. If you just joined us, we're talking with Mike Thackeray. He's the CEO of Vine IT. You've heard Nate Ginter on the program as well. They work together, vineit.com. You can find them there. And last time Nate was on, we talked about the FBI getting hacked, and that led to the conversation of the pipeline getting hacked. I mean, you're seeing hacks and data everywhere. It's just a crazy time. And then also you add in the holidays now, so people shopping online and some of these spoof type websites and phishing schemes. What are some practical tips in that space?
I think it's just validating. It's taking the time to take the extra step to validate who you're buying from, essentially. So there's a lot of pop-up ads. We were talking with Johnny before. He's like, I get these pop-up ads. I'm purchasing something. I send the money and I don't never get it. I contact them and they're like, who is this? We don't know who you're talking about, because it was a spoof ad, right? They're just trying to get your information, trying to get your money. They're going to be all over the place. Just slowing down.
Yeah.
Man, I know it's hard as an American to slow down, especially. And we've been going just balls to the walls the last couple months.
Yep.
And that's just business. Now personal's coming in. Just slowing down and validating where you're going, where you're purchasing from. Those pop-up ads are great, man, but you got to double check.
Yeah.
You got to double check.
Yeah, because they can, a lot of times, especially if it's via email, they're going to put in one extra dot or a hyphen, and it looks like the other company, but it's not. It's just that one extra dot, especially when you see that in the real estate space, people sending wires. You've heard and seen stories of where people have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars by sending the wire. But, at least in the real estate business, it's call before you wire and call and verify that title agent sent you the right information.
You're on point.
But yeah, I love these practical tips. What other tips do you have for business owners?
So I would say for business owners. So let me preface by saying I was a client of the company that I own and run now, right? Yep. So I had a commercial landscape company, about 100 employees. 20 of them were office employees, right, white collar, and we were employing Vine IT to support us. So I am our clients. I am the listener of the show. I'm an IT guy now, but starting in 2018, fresh, right?
Nice.
Have a great team supporting. But so there's I'm always looking for really practical tips. Last time, I think I talked about multi-factor authentication, right? Enabling that. If you don't know what it is, ask your IT expert, contact Vine IT. We can help you at vineit.com. Or the other is, I bet you 80 to 90% of the listeners that are business owners are using QuickBooks right now that are listening to this. Taking from QuickBooks local, a lot of businesses have a local on-prem server that is hosting their QuickBooks, and they're used to it, and they're used to all the bells and whistles it has, but simply moving that to the web-based QuickBooks. Okay. We did it as a company. Look, we have an IT company. I always say, Nate says we're cloud evangelists. We move people. We are moving our clients to the cloud whenever possible. So any software that you're hosting on site at your office, finding a way to move it to the cloud, and QuickBooks is a great way to start. Let me give you the best benefit. Right now, right here, I can pull up QuickBooks on my phone, and I can see and manage the entire financials of my whole company, including my bank accounts.
Real time updated.
That's it. I'm going to the woods tomorrow. Guess what? I can still run the business right from my phone, right from there.
That's awesome.
And third, lastly, and this is, I don't sell insurance. We support a lot of insurance agencies, but there's a lot of small business owners that don't have cyber liability policies.
Right.
So, and if someone has questions about it, we can refer them to, we have clients and partners that we can refer to, but just checking and ensuring that you have a cyber liability rider or a cyber liability standalone policy to make sure if something does happen, you're set. If you get a data breach, it costs you $10,000 or $100,000.
That's a good idea.
You've got something set. I don't sell insurance.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that do, so you can contact
Well, Doug
us.
Levi's our guy for the
There you
show.
go.
Doug Levi, Strategic Insurance, Cyber Liability Policy. That's important because that comes into play where you walk in, you hear that worst case scenario. Can you give us some stories or some insights into where you've seen maybe some good and bad?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, ever so often we try to train our clients to if they see something suspicious, they can always ask. There's no such thing as a dumb question, except for a dumb question. But I'm just kidding. But sorry. But no, there's no such thing as a dumb question. If they see an email and it looks unfamiliar, let them know. But we see it internally. Our controller, right, which manages all of our finances, right? Finances run through, and she manages it. Her information, my information, it's available. We're trying to grow the company, so we want people to be able to contact us. We're not trying to hide. So they can get our information. And like you said before, we get spoof emails on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So spoof emails being, hey, representing me, pretending they're me with just a little change in the email address, a little hyphen or spelling my last name with an ERY instead of an REY, sending her saying, hey, I'm out of town. Could you please wire this money, super quick, or pay this $500 bill, and sending an invoice, right, attached. We get it all the time.
Wow.
We get it all the time. So you can have all the buttons pressed. You can have everything lined up, all the doors locked, but you have to have some internal training, some internal policies for people, because it comes down to the people ultimately.
Yeah, it makes sense. And the earlier you can catch these things, then the better.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly it, man. That's an early detection. So,
yeah, that's great. So you're helping out a lot of businesses here in Tampa Bay and beyond. And of course, with the remote service, you can zero in, or you can remote into the computer from their desktop, from their home, and it saves a lot of time. Of course, driving and everything. Of course, with Zoom and all these different technologies now too.
Yeah, we have many clients. Let me say this: we have a lot of prospects that will ask us. We have clients in Jacksonville, Tallahassee. We focus on the Tampa Bay market because it's local, it's here, we're strong. But we have out-of-state clients as well, and a lot of times they ask us, like, how the heck can you serve us from Florida, and we're in Connecticut? We just had that one recently.
Yeah.
And the truth is, over 90% of what we do, of the functions that our support desk does, helping our clients, 90% of it is remote. We remote into their computers, we take over, we fix it. Occasionally we need, occasionally we'll need someone to hold the phone up and show us a picture or a video, FaceTime or something.
Right.
But the reality is, that's the world we live in now.
Yeah, it really is.
And I think the pandemic certainly shone some light on that. Mm-hmm. And the companies that were set up to operate from a remote environment, they thrived, or at least they were able to get up to speed again a lot.
Just think if you bought Zoom stock right before the bump,
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah, get some Zoom.
Yeah, no, that's exactly, that would be. And I would say, so Zoom, there's also, if you're on Microsoft 365, so a lot of our clients have moved to Microsoft 365, another cloud product, right, that you can shift your email, your document storage, file sharing. If you're on 365, they have something called Microsoft Teams, and you could do Teams meetings. It's a competitor to Zoom, built into the system.
Built in.
But Zoom lit up, man. They lit up.
The technology's there. It's one of the best times to be alive, because as a business owner, you can coordinate with people, you can collaborate across the country, the world, and there's a lot of opportunity also for online education. You can skill up. How are you going to make more money? Skill up. Improve your skills.
We live in the information age. We live in the best time ever. I tell my son's 11, and actually I have a 22-year-old great business developer guy straight out of college that works for me. We were doing a review yesterday, and I'm like, listen, man, it's not about resources. It'll never be a lack of resources that makes you fail. It's a lack of resourcefulness. I think Tony Robbins said that.
That's right. That's a good one.
I learned, and it's so true. Just be resourceful.
That's right. Awesome. Hey, good stuff. Thanks for coming in. Say hello to Nate and the team. VineIT.com. That's Mike Thackeray, CEO on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great stuff there. And another great show. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter. Consumer Quarterback Show page out there as well. And we'll be back tomorrow. See you here on Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rhymes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.